I hope you don't, I'm not scolding you. What I'm saying, it's just a fact. And we have to accept it. And so we cannot do anything other than try to educate you whenever we have the opportunity, like today. Cold as it is, I know I'm taking time here, but that's what we're here for. We'll continue this conversation when we go back to a warmer place, but this is what Jamie spoke of. He spoke of this, he said the Gaswenta, the Turo. This is the very first treaty that we made with the Dutch. This is the belt that was made as a result of that. But every time we met with another government, whether they were the French or the English or the US government, we presented this belt to them and we said, what it says to us is, you and I, your people are traveling along the river of life, you're going forward. You're in your ship. And in your ship you have everything you need. You have your law, you have your language, you have your medicine, your knowledge, whatever that may be. It's with you in here, in your ship. And you're traveling along the river of life. But we're traveling next to you. We're in a canoe. In our canoe, we have our Gayanas our great law, our system of law. We have our our way of life. You call your way of life, you separate religion and government. We don't. We have in here as well our Onondaga our language, or whatever nation we come from. We have our own language, our own tongue. We have our own government. There's 3 lines here in the middle, three rows of beads. We can live in peace and friendship forever, so long as we can accept the right of each to exist. That we each have a right to exist. Sometimes our people are going to be attracted to the shiny objects in your boat. They're going to jump in there with you for a while. They're going to go along with you. Eventually, they're going to come back to their canoe, to their way. Some of your people jump in with us. I always make a joke about that. The ones that jump in the canoe with us, we say wannabes. Just kidding. But they embrace the ideas, and we want them to hear these ideas. The idea that the earth is our mother. You and I are responsible for taking care of it. She's taking care of us. That's our relationship. Okay, so these are the things I just wanted to cover so that we're all on the same page. That what we're here for is to remind ourselves of an agreement we made 217 years ago. I like when I heard Jamie mention that in our tongue. How long ago this was made, here on this spot, this place, Canandaigua, New York. The chosen spot. Many years we've been meeting here at this rock, and we've been inviting our brothers and our sisters to come here and join with us. And now we have representatives of our different nations that have joined us here behind the rock. Representative from the Tuscarora Nation, representative from the Cayuga Nation, representatives from the Onondaga, from the Tonawanda Band of Senecas. One of our chiefs is here as well. I know people I saw this morning that came all the way from Oneida, Wisconsin. It's great to see you people here today. The Oneidas living all the way out in Green Bay, Wisconsin. They're here with us today. It's great to have them. The president of the Seneca Nation of Indians, Mr. Robert Porter. It's great to have him here with us today. He and I were just talking before I came out here. Had there ever been a president of the Seneca Nation that came here before? I said, I think just one maybe, that I could remember back to. I think he came one time. So, sometimes a representative is sent, but I think it's very important for me it's very important that those people that are our chosen leaders, that they come here to share with this group of people that take the time of day to come here and be with us. We have a federal representative with us here today, and he has become a friend of ours that we have had good conversations with. He has come here to learn and to share his thinking too. So I'm going to give him that opportunity. We've taken some time here now to share with you our thoughts on these things from our standpoint, the Ungwe Homwe. But I'm going to ask Mr. Tom Reed, Congressman of the 29th District, if he would offer a few words.
Tom Reed.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for the opportunity to be here with you today. As we celebrate Veterans Day, and I started this morning and will end tonight going to different ceremonies and services to honor our United States veterans. I did want to take a moment in my schedule to stop here during my first year as the representative for the 29th Congressional District to hopefully send a sign and a message to each of the nations that I hear the words that Jamie spoke, and that we are two sovereign nations, and we will stand as sovereign nations. And my hope is that the 217 years of peace will continue forever. And I have no doubt that that will occur, because I'm developing friendships with people like President Porter, who represents the Seneca Nation in my district. And I know that we can come together and that we can have prosperity for his people and for our people, and that we can move this relationship to another level, to a level that was envisioned by Timothy Pickering, by President Washington, and the chiefs of the nations who negotiated the Treaty of 1794. I will work day in and day out to be open to our conversations. And I know these are just words, and many predecessors over those 217 years have spoken words similar to this. But I hope that my actions and deeds will prove to you that I am sincere in these words. So as we come together, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to learn and to listen. And as we come together as two nations, as separate sovereign nations and the 6 nations that are represented here, let us never forget our veterans on November 11th, the United States Veterans Day, and give them thanks and remembrance on such a great day. So thank you for the opportunity to be here with you, Peter, and it is an honor.
We do appreciate those words, and I guess I would say what some of you know very well, that our people on a per capita basis have served in the armed services in greater numbers than any other single group. People make great sacrifices from a long time back based on their own choices. Those were the choices of those individuals, but they did. They have served this government as a fighting man. And so we acknowledge the great sacrifices that the veterans have made. When we come together on a day like this, there are many people who would like to share words with us, and I'm going to ask President Porter, who I know took time to come today, even though there were demands on him for appearances where our veterans are located. So I'm going to ask President Porter if he would come and share a few words.
Eskeno, I'm very honored to be here today, and I'm honored to be here with the leaders and the people of the 6 nations. And I'm very honored that we have with us today our brother Tom Reed, who in a very short period of time has demonstrated a respect and understanding of what our history as a people, as brothers and sisters, are all about. When Congressman Reed came to our inaugural last year, he sent a message to the Oneida, the Seneca people. And for him to be here today, he sends it to all Haudenosaunee, and he sends it to the non-natives, our brothers and sisters who are here as well, that this treaty that binds us together has been working. It hasn't always worked, but it's working better than it used to. And it's something that we have to remember, that standing here in the cold on November 11th is just a very small sacrifice for what is fundamentally a sacrifice of all of our peoples. And I'm very honored to be here, because for me this is a remembrance. This is a remembrance of peace. This is a remembrance of sovereignty. This is a remembrance of our freedom to live as separate peoples. That we are not Americans, despite American efforts to make us such. That we have our own governments, we have our own nations, and we have our own lands. And we don't need to be incorporated or forced into American life in order to have a good life. We have choices to make as a people, and those choices are respected and promised to us by the Canandaigua Treaty. I think as time moves forward, we will find a greater richness and understanding. And I'm sure that this event, which has grown over the years, and I want to give thanks to Peter for the work that he has really contributed over the years to help promote understanding of our treaties, our rights, and our nations. Because it wasn't always like this. We didn't always have members of Congress here. Very few of us maybe were here. But the treaty lives, it's here today, and I look forward to spending some time the rest of the day visiting with some of you. But on behalf of the Seneca Nation and the Seneca people, Nyawe, thank you for having me today.
One individual here worked very hard to see if Lieutenant Governor Bob Duffy would be with us today. Unfortunately, Bob's with other demands, meeting other demands related to the veterans that have been having celebrations, memorials, coming together across the state. And so I'm going to ask at this time Doug Fisher to deliver a message that is coming directly from the Lieutenant Governor, Robert Duffy.
Greetings on 11/11/11. That's supposed to be a sign of good luck to have numbers converging like that, so let's hope that the good luck continues on behalf of the treaty. I did meet with Bob Duffy, the Lieutenant Governor, personally some weeks ago, and he expressed great interest in coming today, but he had to have all of his demands from various parts of New York placed together. He's not able to be here, but he did send me this letter. To my friends gathered in Canandaigua on Treaty Day. Canandaigua was the chosen spot 217 years ago for Native Americans to join with representatives of the new United States government to establish a permanent friendship between the peoples. Governor Cuomo has appointed me to continue this friendship between our peoples, and in that capacity, I have enjoyed my many hours of meeting with today's keynote speaker, Seneca Nation President Rob Porter, a man for whom I have deep respect. He has taught me much about Seneca culture and the Seneca perspective on many issues, and I am grateful for the increased understanding which he has given me. I regret that official New York State business has taken me elsewhere in the state today, but I am pleased to give the greetings of Governor Andrew Cuomo and of the state of New York to all in attendance at Treaty Day, and particularly to my Native American friends. The great Seneca orator Red Jacket spoke eloquently that this 1794 treaty should brighten the chain of friendship between our peoples. It is in that spirit that I look forward to a continuing dialogue with the Native Americans and with President Porter, and hope to be able to join all of you on a future Canandaigua Treaty Day. All the best, Robert J. Duffy, Lieutenant Governor, New York State Capitol Building, Albany, New York. And that's particularly significant because there have been ongoing discussions and dialogue between the state of New York and the Seneca Nation. Rob Porter representing the Seneca Nation and Lieutenant Governor Duffy being the point person representing New York State in this dialogue. And so it's particularly appropriate that his greetings be sent today. Now, back when the United States was still in the process of coming together after the American Revolution, that was a time of 13 colonies, which were each independent governments in a sense, dependent on Britain, yes, but vis-a-vis each other, they each felt autonomy. They each had their own debts that they incurred to pay the soldiers to fight in the American Revolution. And so after the U.S. Constitution was adopted in 1787, there was still this attitude about each of the colonies had the right to deal autonomously, and they each wanted to deal autonomously with the Indian nations. But part of the concept of the Canandaigua Treaty was to make it clear to everybody that these were nations dealing with nations, not with former colonies, not with states, but with nations. The preamble to the treaty reads, "A treaty between the United States of America and the tribes of Indians called the Six Nations. The President of the United States, having determined to hold a conference with the Six Nations of Indians for the purpose of removing from their minds all causes of complaint and establishing a firm and permanent friendship with them,